The dragon, named Vermithor, is the largest in the world.
After Vhagar, and perhaps the most fierce.
He's called the Bronze Fury. We'll go to him now.
In this video, I'm going to break down the 7th episode of Season 2 and will discuss details like the High Valyrian writing in Dragonstone, Eddard Waters and Martyn Reynes, aka Aegon's elite guards, being sent to the wall, and Rhaenyra reading books on dragons, etc. So stay tuned for that. Greetings Throne Watchers, only one more episode to go now. But before that, let's take a look at the Greens first. We get to see the aftermath of the riots. Remember how I had said in my episode 5 trailer breakdown video that Aemond would probably fire Aegon's friends? Technically, it still happened. Although Leon Estamont was killed by the small folks, Aemond still fired the other two elite king's guards of Aegon the Magnanimous, that is, Martyn Reynes and Eddard Waters, by sending them to the wall. In this scene, you can see Aemond has his guards remove their white cloaks. 6 men of the Night's Watch have come to take them to the wall. I wonder if we'll ever get to see them again, probably at the wall sometime. You can also see the same training yard where Aemond, Jace and Luke had trained, and there are still shields, archery birds, quintains, etc. around. So this yard is still used as a training ground. Ironically, from the very same place where Viserys and Lionel Strong once watched Aemond train, Larys and Jasper Wild watch as Aemond strips them of their cloaks and sends them to the wall. Ironrod tells Larys about the rumors he had heard about Seasmoke being claimed by a new rider, and Larys tells him not to tell Aemond. Since Larys is the actual master of whisperers, I have no doubt he doesn't already know about all this. But he not only pretends to be ignorant of this, but also stops Ironrod from telling Aemond. Why do you think he did that? If I had to guess, I would say he did it so the Blacks could have enough dragons to match the strength of Vhagar, so they could fight on equal terms. As for why he would want both sides to fight on equal level, you can check out my Who is the Mastermind Behind Blood and Cheese and Who is the Mastermind Behind Dance of the Dragon videos. Alicent's arm got injured during the riots, and Maester Orwyle is tending to her. Alicent says this place isn't clean, and we see a rat eating on a dirty table in her chambers. During season 1, we did discuss what the rat's presence could mean in our A Watch Party of Ice and Fire podcast. I know some people believe someone could be walking into them to spy on the Red Keep maybe. If that's the case, who do you think it could be? Alicent takes Luffy's grandpa, aka Sir Rickard Thorne, into the woods and swims in the Blackwater Rush. Am I the only one who thinks this scene was completely unnecessary? It just felt like a filler to me. The only reason I could think of that they will add this scene is probably to give some screen time to Vincent Regan. Ironrod tells Aemond that Darren's dragon has taken to wing and will join the fight soon. So we'll get to see Darren in season 3. But we have seen Darren's dragon, aka Tessarian, in our season 2 finale trailer, which I've already discussed in my episode 8 trailer breakdown video. Larys is also making Maester Orwyle push Aegon more to make him recover fast. I think Larys feels a sense of urgency that time is running out or something. Why do you think he is pushing Aegon so hard? So that's all had happened with the Greens. Let's take a look at the Blacks now. After Rhaenyra confronts Adam, he immediately bends the knee to her. Is it just me, or does it look like Seasmoke is smiling mischievously here? Like he got caught red-handed or something. I guess Cyrex did yell at him and he responded with his naughty smile. Anyway, Corlys finally acknowledges Adam and asks his brother Alan what he wants. I love it when Alan says he is of Salt and Sea and he yearns for nothing. This makes Corlys happy too. Rhaenyra starts looking through the annals once again. As you can see here, she has a couple of scrolls lying on the table, but what really bothers me is how they keep leaving books open all around the library. They really need to hire a librarian or fire the one they do have. As a book lover, I can't help but flinch every time I see an open book lying around. Anyway, Miss Arya suggests Rhaenyra to give the bastards a shot as well. Rhaenyra isn't too happy with it, as she says highborn are bound by honor, the lowborn are not. But Miss Arya finally convinces her to call the bastards by giving the examples of highborn Greens and the lowborn Adam. By the way, when Miss Arya suddenly laughs out of nowhere, am I the only one who thought her mask slipped and her true emotions came out? Like she had a crazy idea that she can use to manipulate things in her favor, because that laugh seemed more ominous to me than a happy one. Like I have said in my Who is the Mastermind videos, I still don't trust Miss Arya. If you look at it from a different angle, Miss Arya has now gained a lot of power here, to the point that Rhaenyra listens to her even if everyone else on Team Black opposes her, and even goes behind their back to secretly scheme with Miss Arya. And it was Miss Arya who got to pick and decide who to call and who not to, as she was the one who sent instructions to Elinda, because after reading that letter, we saw Elinda going to specific places that were mentioned by Miss Arya. I would be surprised if Miss Arya wanted one of her people to claim a dragon and thought she could use this opportunity to use one of her underlings to try to claim a dragon. But it's just my gut feeling. I know I don't have any proof, but for some reason I just can't trust Miss Arya. She reminds me too much of Varys. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think Miss Arya is loyal to Rhaenyra, or is she going to betray her eventually? Either way, on Miss Arya's insistence, Rhaenyra summons the dragon seeds to try to claim dragons, an event which will later be called as the Red Sowing, which is also the title of this episode. And what an amazing scene that was. The dragon keepers aren't happy with her decision, and the whole order leaves Dragonstone. Also in this shot, you can see more open books lying around. The one on the table is of Visenya and Vhagar, which I have already discussed in my episode 5 trailer breakdown video. There are also a few dragon glass daggers lying around on the table. Jace is also upset and asks Rhaenyra not to go through with it. In this shot, Rhaenyra is reading the same book which has the art of Aegon, Rhaenys and Visenya on it. I had also discussed this art in one of my previous videos. When Rhaenyra says, "You were the first one on board," Jace says he agreed for Sir Stephen Darklyn, who was her Kingsguard and a highborn, someone Jace could trust to be on their side, whereas the dragon seeds are mongrels. By the way, when Jace calls them mongrels, am I the only one who had a flashback to Gilgamesh calling everyone mongrels? Has any of you watched the Fate series? If you haven't, I highly recommend it. At least watch the Fate Zero series without looking up any spoilers. It's an absolute masterpiece. By the way, I noticed a lot of hate towards Jace because of this scene. I don't think this makes him a bad person. Insecure? Yes, but not bad. Think of it this way. You might want to help the poor out, but would you give a total stranger all of your money, house, and everything else you own? Because in Jace's mind, that's what he will lose if he loses his claim. It's not just about being lowborn. I think there were 3 other reasons for Jace choosing highborn over lowborns, besides the obvious one. Unlike the lowborn, if they got a highborn on their side, not only will they get a new dragon rider, but also their armies as well, which will include hundreds, if not thousands of soldiers as a bonus. Second, in Westeros, at least based on everyone's reactions here and how Sansa and Cat acted in Game of Thrones, it seems like the highborn are regarded as more honorable and less likely to betray them than the bastards. It's also a matter of their education, as the highborn are taught from a very young age about duty, honor, chivalry, etc. third, they at least know which house a highborn belongs to and what kind of people they are, etc. And even if they were to disappear, it might be harder to track down a no-name commoner as compared to a highborn one. Also, you need to remember that Jace grew up with insults about being bastards thrown at him and his brothers. And on top of that, he has also seen how much a ruler's words mean once that ruler is dead, as he saw what happened with Viserys and his mother. So if that happened with Rhaenyra, Jace could have argued that he has a dragon, something not just anybody can have. So he is her heir and he has the rightful claim. But if anyone can have dragons and they try to cast him aside as just another bastard, he won't have any arguments left. So even if the Blacks do win the war, not only will he lose his claim after Rhaenyra's death, but his home as well. He might even lose his life, as the new ruler will not think his claim was safe as long as Rhaenyra's son was alive, just like Otto did in season 1. So it's literally a matter of survival for him. That's why, even though I didn't like it, I understand why he reacted this way. Anyway, since the Order of the Dragon Keepers have left, Rhaenyra herself has to take up the task of leading the dragon seeds to the dragons. In this shot, when she is addressing the dragon seeds, you can see Sir Laurent is on edge and he is keeping his hand on his sword's hilt. He is ready to draw his sword if anyone tries to harm Rhaenyra. Mysaria is lurking in the back and you can see more open books lying around, the top of which has a drawing of a dragon on its page. So Rhaenyra has been studying more about dragons. But seriously, someone get them a librarian. Anyway, in the shot where Rhaenyra enters the cave with the dragon seeds, on top of the columns, you can see a few High Valyrian glyphs. After searching these glyphs on internet for hours, these are the meanings I could decipher. If any of these is wrong, please let me know in the comments below. So I found 4 words for these 4 glyphs. Starting from left to right, it says door, Dracarys or Dragonfire, dragon and gods. If any of you know High Valyrian, let me know if it's correct or not. Anyway, Hugh's wife tried to stop Hugh and he said he has to go because he couldn't save their daughter and he wanted to protect his wife. Then he tells her about his mother, who was a whore with a white hair, and he remembers her saying Hugh was no different from her brother's boys, Viserys and Daemon, which makes Balon Targaryen the brother of Hugh's mother. I'd like to give a shout out to MT Sane 771 who said, in Hugh's case, I wouldn't be surprised if he resembled Jaehaerys in his prime by looks. His alleged mother was likely Saera Targaryen after all, a daughter of Jaehaerys, considering how he described his mother's circumstances, and Saera was known for her hoary side. This is a very nice theory. It is said one of her bastards resembled Jaehaerys in his youth, so it would be nice if that bastard turned out to be Hugh. Also, this will bring things to a close. Ever since Saera fled Westeros, King Jaehaerys had never been the same. He had been mad at her, but during his last days, he yearned for her and mistook Alicent, who nursed him, for his daughter Saera. He died with the desire to meet Saera, which probably stuck with Vermithor. So if Vermithor sensed something in Hugh, and seeing Hugh reminded him of young Jaehaerys, it would make sense why Vermithor would choose to bond with Hugh. Ulf, on the other hand, was peer pressured into going to Dragonstone and ended up claiming Silverwing. Is this what's called falling upwards? He literally fell and became a dragon rider. And how do you think Silverwing ended up flying over King's Landing? Did she miss Queen Alicent, or was it Ulf who took her there to show off to his friends? Which would be pretty stupid, by the way, because Aemond and Vhagar are right there in King's Landing. Aemond follows Silverwing at least close to Dragonstone before deciding to turn back, as there are 2 more seasons left, so he can't just kill them right there. Let's move on to Harrenhal. Daemon had ordered Oscar Tully to bring all the River Lords to Harrenhal. He has another vision of Viserys in this room, and I noticed 2 weird things in this scene. First is the shield-like design on the wall, which probably might be sunlight coming through a window or something. What do you think this design is? And the other one is the design on his weirwood bed. There are circles, and the one in the center has a big black circle inside it. Do you think this means something, or is it just a simple design? Anyways, in this shot, you can see Daemon is wearing two rings. One has a three-headed dragon on it. The other one seems to have an infinity sign or something. Do you think this sign means something? If yes, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, Oscar Tully arrives and he has become a total badass now. I really loved Oscar Tully in this episode. Not only did he force Daemon to kill his subordinate, he also made Daemon admit his wrongdoings in front of everyone. But as much as I loved seeing him being a badass, I absolutely hated how they are writing Daemon Targaryen this season. No one talks to the Rogue Prince this way and lives to see another day. At least not to Book Daemon. Book Daemon is a badass. What are they doing to him on the show? I'm telling you, it's Plato Hightower who is writing his arc this season. That's why he is all black instead of the black and white that George R.R. Martin wrote. And all of his achievements from the books are handed over to the side characters to make it look like Daemon is doing nothing. Anyways, so Daemon beheads Willem Blackwood, and now all the River Lords will rally behind him. In the Vale, Rhaenyra, Aegon and Viserys are leaving for Pentos, but the second Jane Arryn turns her back, Rhaenyra runs away and finds the charred bones of a dragon. I was so shocked at how she just left the kids alone on their own. She better be planning to go back to them. Her queen gave her a responsibility. But if the rumors are true and she really is going to take over Nettle's plotline, I wonder if she will choose to stay or will join the kids and protect them on the way to Pentos. What do you think she will do? So that's what has happened in episode 7. I'll also post my episode 8 aka season 2 finale breakdown video soon. If you like this video, please hit the like button below, share the video and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Bye bye. 7 blessings to you.